Raul Bolufe, and we are talking to him about. He's a young man, so I got to ask him his age, because it always kind of aggravates the hell out of me when these guys are like in their 20s and they're already hitting milestones that took me, I didn't pull my head out of my butt till I was about 34. How you doing, Raul?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me on here.
All right. We're going to be talking about, what are we going to be talking about?
Man, we can take it all full circle, man. We can talk about houses. We can talk about age, whatever you want.
Yeah. So, but you you started out wholesaling or fixing and flipping?
Wholesaling. Started out wholesaling.
Isn't that, most people do. I'm like one of the few people that didn't. But most people start out wholesaling, and it's a perfect place to start. It makes a lot of sense because most of us start out broke, right? Were you broke when you started?
Yeah, man, broke college student, just living in my mom's house, and I was selling cars, and I was like, I hated every moment of it. I'm like, damn, the only thing the car business taught me was sales, how to be less shy, and it taught me that rich people owned real estate. So
yeah, well, it also probably taught you how to jick up deals and do sales wrong. Because I came off the sales car lot too, and I had to get out of there. It's like, man, they're killing these poor people. They're burying them in the back room. It's like,
man, I disliked it. I disliked it so much. Just like something in my gut every time I'd make a sale was like, ugh, but yeah, that's just how I started, man. And yeah, just broke. And I knew that rich people had real estate. When I would sell cars, like fancy cars and stuff, you ask questions, how much money do you make? What do you do? And a lot of people are like, oh, real estate. I'm like, so one day I just quit. I'm like, let's figure this out. And I found wholesaling through podcasts and things, and that's how I got started in the wholesale stuff.
So how old are you now?
29.
How old were you when you started?
I was 21 when I started.
Okay, so you got 8 years under your belt.
Yeah.
21, pretty dang young, man. Again, hats off to you. It took me much longer to figure out, so when you jumped, did you have a net? Had you already been exploring it, or you just had enough of the car business and you jumped and you started from scratch?
Yeah, I mean, I did some research, kind of like what a lot of us, maybe some of your listeners, do look on YouTube, podcasts, things like that. I found a guy that was doing wholesale, and I kind of like followed him around and bugged him a little bit until he like accepted that, okay,
you weren't going away.
Yeah. So he accepted I wasn't going away. He's like, all right, fine. He's like, all right, fine. If you give me $5,000, I'll teach you. And I'm like, shit, I don't really have $5,000. Like I quit my shit. And so I borrowed some money from family or whatever. I got him down to 2,500 and 2,500 later and whatever. And after bugging him a little bit, I paid him. And he taught me how to do my first deal. And it took me 3 months, but that's really how I got started. So when I quit, I honestly,
that first deal is the key, isn't it?
Oh man, it is.
I mean, how much? It doesn't matter how much you made on your first deal. Usually it's just a little bit. I think some people get ruined if they make a lot of money on their first deal. It could be really dangerous. What did you make on your first deal?
$6,000 on my first deal.
It's just about the typical flip, the typical wholesale. The typical wholesale is between 6,000 and 8,000. You know what I mean? So
yeah, and it was a complicated one, but like I learned a lot, and I'm like, fuck, if I could do it once, then I could do it 3 times, and it just instilled that little bit of confidence in me. I'm like, all right, let's do it. Let's get another one.
So are you still wholesaling today?
Yeah, so we have a wholesale business. So we're still wholesaling today. That's primarily the income. And then we do some fix and flips. I own some rental portfolio, and I actually do some owner finance deals because I read your book.
You read the Art of Owner Financing, or is that the one you read? Or
yeah, the Art of Owner Financing.
Okay. So are your owner finance deals in Florida?
In Florida, that's right. Yeah.
Are you doing land trusts, or how are you? Because Florida is a little hard to foreclose in sometimes. So
yeah, I'm just doing a deed, just selling on deed. I'm not doing
contract for deed.
Yeah, contract for deed.
I think the best thing in Florida is make sure you really research your people, make sure they're not litigious or don't have a big history of that. You know what I mean? Because you don't really want to foreclose on the wrong person in Florida. It might be a little hard, but there are ways to do it. I know people that are very successful there, and there are things that work, but a little different than Texas, where I'm from.
Oh yeah.
And by the way, Texas and Georgia have the same exact foreclosure laws.
Pretty simple to foreclose in those states, no?
Yeah, very simple. It's a non-judicial. The problem with states like Florida or whatever is that they're judicial foreclosure, so they got to go in front of a judge. And a lot of these judges are so liberal, it's like they just legislate from the bench. I mean, it's like, well, she just got divorced and she's pregnant. She has a little baby one, and like, so we're going to give her all. It's like, where does it say all that in the statute? It says if she's 30 days hasn't paid, she got to get the hell out of my house. I mean, what does all this stuff have to do with it? You know what I mean? So that's the problem with the judicial foreclosure. Plus, they can just keep postponing the court date. Oh, I was sick today, and then you get on the docket, and you can't get on the docket now for another 60 days or 90 days. Heaven forbid we're in a big foreclosure time. There was a time in Florida you couldn't get on the docket for 6 months. You know what I mean? Same in Texas.